Hare Krishna! In this video I am going to tell the 9th story from Krishna book, Mother Yaśodā binding Lord Krishna. So let's start the story. Once upon a time, seeing that her maid servant was engaged in different household duties, Mother Yaśodā personally took charge of churning butter. And while she churned butter, she sang the childhood pastimes of Krishna and enjoyed thinking of her son. In the meanwhile, Krishna came to his mother. He felt hungry and out of love for his mother, he wanted her to stop churning. He indicated that her first business was to give him milk and then churn butter later. Mother Yaśodā took her son on her lap and gave milk to him. Suddenly, the milk which was kept on the oven began to boil over. Just to stop the milk from spilling, Mother Yaśodā at once put Krishna aside and went to the oven. Left in that state by his mother, Krishna became very angry and his lips and eyes became red in rage. He pressed his teeth and lips and taking up a piece of stone, he immediately broke the butter pot. He took butter out of it and with false tears in his eyes, he began to eat the butter. In the meantime, Mother Yaśodā returned to the churning place after setting the overflowing milk pan in order. She saw the broken pot in which the churning yogurt was kept. Since she could not find her boy, she concluded that the broken pot was his work. She began to smile as she thought, the child is very clever. After breaking the pot, he has left this place fearing punishment. After she sought all over, she found a big wooden grinding mortar which was kept upside down and she found her son sitting on it. He was taking butter which was hanging from the ceiling on a swing and he was feeding it to the monkeys. She saw Krishna looking this way and that way in fear of her because he was conscious of his naughty behavior. After seeing her son so engaged, she very silently approached him from behind. Krishna, however, quickly saw her coming at him with a stick in her hand, and immediately he got down from the grinding mortar and began to flee in fear. Mother Yaśodā chased him to all corners, trying to capture the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is never approached even by the meditations of great yogis. Mother Yaśodā, however, could not easily catch the fast-running child. Still, she tried to follow him as fast as possible. Although she was tired, she somehow reached her naughty child and captured him. When he was caught, Krishna was almost on the point of crying. He smeared his hands over his eyes, which were anointed with black eye cosmetics. The child saw his mother's face while she stood over him, and his eyes became restless from fear. Mother Yaśodā could understand that Krishna was unnecessarily afraid, and for his benefit, she wanted to allay his fears. Being the topmost well-wisher of her child, Mother Yaśodā began to think, if the child is too fearful of me, I don't know what will happen to him. Mother Yaśodā then threw away her stick. In order to punish him, she thought to bind his hands with some ropes. She did not know it, but it was actually impossible for her to bind the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mother Yaśodā was thinking that Krishna was her tiny child. She did not know that the child had no limitation. Although he is beyond the reach of all senses, she attempted to bind him up to a wooden grinding mortar. But when she tried to bind him, she found that the rope she was using was too short by 2 inches. She gathered more ropes from the house and added to it. But at the end, she found the same shortage. In this way, she connected all the ropes available at home. But when the final knot was added, she saw that it was still 2 inches too short. Mother Yaśodā was smiling, but she was astonished. How was it happening? In attempting to bind her son, she became tired. Then Lord Krishna, being compassionate upon her, he agreed to be bound up by the ropes. Krishna is the supreme bestower of all kinds of liberation to his devotees. But the benediction which was bestowed upon Mother Yaśodā was never experienced even by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or the goddess of fortune. He is never so completely known to the yogis, but he is easily available to his devotees. After binding her son, Mother Yaśodā engaged herself in household affairs. At that time, bound up to the wooden mortar, Krishna could see a pair of trees before him, which were known as Arjuna trees. Then Krishna thought to himself, Mother Yaśodā first of all left me without feeding sufficient milk, and therefore I broke the pot of yogurt and distributed the stock butter in charity to the monkeys. Now she has bound me up to a wooden mortar, so I shall do something more mischievous than before. And thus he thought of pulling down the two very tall Arjuna trees. There is a history behind the pair of Arjuna trees. In their previous lives, the trees were born as the human sons of Kuvera, and their names were Nalakuvera and Manigriva. Fortunately, they came within the vision of the Lord. In their previous lives, they were cursed by the great sage Narada in order to receive the highest benediction of seeing Lord Krishna. This benediction curse was bestowed upon them because of their forgetfulness due to intoxication. So in the next chapter, we'll see the story of the cursing of Nalakuvera and Manigriva and their deliverance by Lord Krishna. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 9th chapter of Kṛṣṇa, Mother Yaśodā binding Lord Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.